Good evening. Welcome to Rhythm and Blues, Preservation Society Monday Music Spotlight. I'm your host, founder, and executive director, Perry Thompson. Tonight, I'll be interviewing Mr. H.L. Thompson, brother who shares my last name, brother from another mother, hip hop connoisseur, and music festival producer. So let's get him on right now. All right. Hit the invite. So I'm looking forward to this interview with brother H.L. Thompson. He's going to speak about his career, music career in hip hop, and what he's doing as far as being a record music producer for festivals in Brazil, which is very, very interesting to me. Let's see if he's on now. I sent an invite. All right. Waiting for him to come on. So while I'm waiting for him, as you know, we had we celebrate Rhythm Blues Preservation Society Week 2 weeks ago. Very successful. Where's he at? Uh, okay, brother, join in. All right, here we go.
Right.
All right, there go my brother from another mother.
What's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. H.L. Thompson in the house. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Perry?
Oh, brother, I'm great, man. I'm great, man. Thanks for being on our Monday Music Spotlight. Uh, so let's get into now. You're born and raised in Texas, correct?
Born and raised.
Wow.
But the crazy part about it is, though, even though I was born and raised, I've lived in New York longer than I have Texas. So, yeah.
Right. Now you uh, were you musically inclined growing up, or playing instruments stuff like
Oh,
that?
yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. Music grew up in was a part of my family. Um, I mean, it goes back to like my grandmother and her brothers. You know, they it's crazy because they played the blues and
Mm.
in the juke joints growing up. I mean, they were the guitarists and the vocalists of all the like the neighborhood juke joints or whatnot. So
Right.
my grandmother played the guitar,
Hmm.
her brother played the guitar, you know,
Okay.
they sang the blues and you know, and as a little kid, you know, my mom used to tell me about the stories of growing up, how like my uncle who was like the main dude when it came to playing the blues and whatnot, and but you know he liked to drink a lot, so and especially you know they had the moonshine and stuff like that going on back
Yeah,
in
man.
yeah
I hear you. My dad's from the South, so I know what you're talking
yeah
about.
so you know he would be playing the you know the guitars and whatnot, but he would like
Yeah.
fall asleep in the middle of the sets and whatnot because he was a little intoxicated off the booze. so so
Hey, brother.
they would send a runner um to my grandmother's house in the middle of the night and you know and run and tell him like you know your brother fell asleep again in the middle of a set, we need you to come like bail him out. So my grandmother would have to wake up and get her guitar together and go down to the joint and pretty much you know get the other brothers, pull him off the stage and fill
Wow.
in for the set, you know.
Now, when did you start playing instruments? How old were you?
Oh man, I was probably, I would say about five, you know. I was probably about 5 years old because the thing about it is my older brother played the saxophone, and my oldest sister, she played, I think it was the flute and whatnot. So, but you know, I was just intrigued because, you know, he was much older than me, but you know, just sitting there listening to him play the saxophone, and not to get off a sidetrack, but he also graduated. Him and my sister, they and my mom's, they also graduated from the same college at Prairie View A&M University. So
Okay,
HBC,
it's a family thing. Okay, okay.
and he also was the music major as well. You know,
Wow.
so just watching him play the saxophone
Yeah.
and her playing the flute, and they both was in the marching bands, and you know, through high
Mm.
school, through college, and like I say, my oldest brother being a music major, so and playing the saxophone. So when he wasn't around, I would just pretty much sneak in and get on his saxophone when he wasn't home or whatnot, and because I was intrigued, I wanted to like learn how to play it, and he wasn't teaching me, so I basically learned how to play the saxophone just by ear, man. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what a lot of particularly black musicians, because I play instruments, but so playing by ear is really, most majority of black musicians self-taught anyway, so I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So once I learned to play by ear, and
right,
you know, it as I grew older, and as you can, the music started making more sense. Then,
right.
you know, then my older brother got a little bit more inclined to like, you know, I see he got a little talent. So then he started like teaching me a little bit more about, you know, about the instrument. And then I went on to, you know, once I got in, I would say like grade school and junior high, then that's when I started excelling, because now I'm in bands and whatnot, and
Hmm.
I'm working with music teachers and whatnot. So that's when,
Right.
you know, the skills started advancing. And then, you know, once I got, you know, I was in the sports as well. So it became a little difficult to try to juggle, you know, the two, because I played football, I played basketball, played baseball. So, so I was like multi, you know, athletic, you know, doing a lot of things. But music still was my heart. You know, I still love music. So when I got to high school, and I still wanted to be like in the band, you know, but still athletics as well. But I joined a jazz band, and
Okay.
and so, but I joined it because simply because I love jazz music,
Hmm.
you know, and I was intrigued by, you know, certain sounds, especially like, you know, peculiar sounds like Maceo Parker, you know, and
Hmm.
Sonny Rollins and whatnot.
Hmm.
So these type of jazz influences kind of intrigued me to like get heavily involved in the music. So I joined the jazz band, and but I just wanted to just be a part of it. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to stand out because I know I had the athletics going on behind me. But one day, you know, in joining the jazz band, and then you know, the director would always hear me playing, but you know, the way I always had a little twist behind my saxophone playing. So the lead saxophonist, he kept giving her solos, but she just didn't have that flair, you know, when it
Hmm.
came time to improving, you know, on that solo. So one day out of the blue, he's like, you know, he's just like, Mr. Thompson, do you mind? Can we give you a shot, you know, at this, you know? And then, you know, I was just like, all right, let me hit the chords and whatnot, and what you know, what are we playing? And you know, say, you know, you're in B major or whatever, you know. I'm just saying. And then next thing you know, I stepped up to the plate, I just blew him away. And
Right.
after it was over, he just stood there and he just looked at me and like, man, you've been sitting here all this time and I never heard you play like this. This is incredible. So from then on, unfortunate for her, he made me, the lead saxophonist and gave me all the solos or whatnot. And then that just led to me really coming out of my shell and going on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Right. Same here. I'm saying,
Yeah, and
yep.
then he talked me into like entering like the district contest,
Right.
for the musicians and whatnot. And I went on to do, from regional to state, as a saxophone player. You know what I mean? And
Right.
then that just and it was funny because I taught a friend of mine how to play the saxophone, and he went on to major in music at Prairie View A&M University, and it's funny because I taught him how to play the saxophone. Now today he's a band director in, in,
Is
in,
that something?
in Texas, and but when he got to college, he was a year ahead of me, and he got to college, and he was like, he told the band director at that time, Prof. Edwards, God rest his soul, that was like my mentor, and he told him about me. He was like, man, it's this incredible saxophonist, back home that you gotta get here, man. He's just that. He taught me how to play the sax. So
Okay.
that it,
So that's how you attended the college through your friend?
yeah, because the thing about it is I didn't have any plans on going to college, kind of like in my bio, even though, the sports and the music and whatnot, but coming from a single parent home,
Right.
young, 7 kids,
Mm-hmm.
things are rough, and seeing your mom struggling, just to put food on your table. So it was a little difficult to watch that. So
Yes, sir.
young kid, and you seeing all the other kids in the new sneakers and dressing fly.
Right.
So of course you want these things. You want to also help out your moms. So it just led
Right.
me into the wrong directions, on the
Right.
streets, trying to, be with the street cats and doing the things that street cats do, and that's where I was getting caught up in. And then,
Right.
later on, it just led to, me get in and out of trouble, with cops and stuff like that, getting locked up as a juvenile and whatnot. So my mom's, you know that last time, she just had to talk with me, and she was like, look, it's only two ways you're gonna go. You're either gonna go this way or you're gonna go that way, And she was like, "Let this be the last time I come, up here to get you out of juvenile detention or jail or what."
Yeah.
So she's like, you better make your choice, because I'm tired of going back and forth to the schools, and because you're getting into fights and whatnot, because I had a little attitude as well too. So, and one thing about growing up in Texas, as you know, it can be very racist. So,
Yes, sir.
and coming
Yes,
to
sir.
the hood, when you getting called racist names, we don't stand for that. So it might end up, causing a black eye for the other guy. You know what I'm saying? So, and then next thing you know, they calling your parents. And my mom's, she was in and out at the school, like, damn, what you do this time? I'm like, well, mom, he said the wrong word. You know what I mean? She was like, yeah, but, son, you got to learn to sometimes overlook that. I said, yeah, but these are not the 60s, mom. You know what I mean? We ain't turning our heads no more. But
So
again,
you decided. So the last time you got in trouble, was that the time that you decided to change your life? The last time you got in
exactly,
trouble?
exactly. That was the life-changing moment where I had to, sit and think, like, what do I want to do? Because just right after that situation, my one of my brothers that's next to me, you know, he got locked up, you know, for the same things, because it was crazy, because even though we were all out there young and hustling, but it was all, you know, we was all from the same hood, all in the same situation, coming from single parent homes and whatnot. And, you know, it's like those are the choices we made, to try to hustle, to make money and feed our families, and try to look good. You know, nobody wanted to go to school bummy. So, you know, that, you know, selling drugs was the only thing that we did to like try to make ourselves, you know, comparable. And, you know, so it was that peer pressure, put it like that, you know, you got the best good.
That last time you decided to focus on your music, and then you attended Prairie View University. At that was the moment.
Yeah, man. I just sat down and I just thought to myself, you know, like seeing my mom's face when she walked out of that jail, like coming to pick up her youngest son, and
Right.
and then right after that, a few weeks after that, my brother got locked up and he ended up going to prison, you know, and ended up doing nearly 20 years, you know. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I better change my life. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna,
Yes, sir.
you know, she always kept echoing that you're gonna be just like your brother. You're gonna be up there probably in the cell with him. So I was like, you know what? Let me go see what this college thing is all about. Because my
There you
boy
go.
kept
There you
like,
go.
you gotta come visit. You gotta come check it out. Just
Right.
come for one weekend, please. Come see what it's all about. And so I was like, okay, cool. So he came down and got me one weekend and took me up there and let me see what college life is about. Let me see what Prairie View A&M University is about. And I was hooked, man. I was like, you know, this is the other part of life that I'm not really seeing, you know, from
Right.
an educational standpoint, you know.
Right.
So so it just brought me to that fork in the road where I say, this is the direction I want to go. Let's see whatever happens after this, you know, for the best, you know.
So you majored in music at Prairie View?
Yes, music major, played in the band. But my
Mm.
funny story about that is because I used to be the one always rapping on the corner while we was out there on the corner. You know, I would just be freestyling, making up raps and whatnot. So I had a passion for rap music as well, outside of just the, you know, the musician side. So, you know, you know, rap music at that time was coming into its own. So when I got to Prairie View my freshman year, you know, I was all into it, the band and this and that. But once I started, you know, we have like it's like 2 days in camp, band camp. So that's before school starts, you know. So when I was in tour days, and you know, it's hot Texas weather, you out there marching and getting into all that. But I was um, I was like, you know what? I love my rap too, and I think something is missing in the band. You know what I mean? I think they should incorporate, because I was always inquisitive. I was always like a creative mindset. So I was like, you know what? I think I can create something that will give the band a spark. So without the band director knowing, I called a bunch of other freshmen in the bass session. I mean, in the bass section, and in the drum section, you know, the box, what we called it. And I like, yo, let's, after practice, I got an idea. So after band rehearsal, you know, we would go behind the building, and then I told him, I said, here's my idea. I said, I want the box, you know, to come up with the drum cadence from LL Cool J, I'm Bad. And then I say, I want the bass. I need y'all to play that bass line, you know, from I'm Bad, you know. So we worked on it for a few hours. They got it, you know what I mean? And then and once I knew that they had it, you know, perfect, then I said, okay, give me one a day. I'm gonna go back to the my dorm room. I'm gonna write a rap to it. You know what I mean? That's different from LL's, but
Right.
I'm gonna use it to play off of the LL on Bad, but I'm gonna use it to kind of play off of that against the opposite band. So I went and wrote that night. I wrote I flipped his lyrics. Then I wrote my own rap to I'm Bad. Then it came back and I rehearsed it with my same crew. And then that night I went to the band director and I was like, look, I have an idea. I would like, to share with you. And he was like, what is it, Chief? And I was telling him, I was like, look, I think if we add a session in the halftime show where I'm rapping, to LL Cool J, I'm Bad, I think that would like excite the crowd. Nobody has ever did that. This is way before nobody had ever rapped with a live band, or whatever the case may be. So I, once I started, bringing it to his attention, he thought about it. And he's like, I don't know, Chief, I don't know. I said, well, just give it a chance, man. And he was like, I don't know. And then I said, I tell you what, if you just let us perform it in front of the band after the practice, if nobody likes it, I will, I get my butt back in line and blow that sax, I'm supposed to do as a musician. And he was like, all right, bet. So basically after practice, I got in line. I started, practicing, and then he was like, all right, called us up to the front, in front of the band. And he said, all right, Chief, let me see what you got. And he's like, the band, I'm gonna leave it into y'all hands. If y'all like it, we're gonna run with it. And if y'all don't like it, you let him know, and he'll get his butt back in line. So mind you, I'm just a little freshman, fresh out of high school, just turned 18, and this is something that I'm about to challenge, you know what I mean? So the bottom line, I said, I was like 1, 2, 3, and and then that bass line hit, where the bass line, they was going boom, 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 and then the drum line came in. So our first school we play every year to start the season out is called a Labor Day Classic against our rival, Texas Southern. So, and every band has a nickname. So their band nickname was called Ocean of Soul. So I would switch the words of LL to like go after the bands. So it's like, I'm gonna dish your band. So like LL, song would like start off, no rapper can rap quite like I can. I think, so basically I switched it and be like, no band can march quite like we can. I say the ocean of soul is like a beach without sand. If you ever try to attack, so that's how I flipped the whole song. The band went crazy, and history was made after that. I rapped the entire my whole entire state at Prairie View. I was like the halftime show, like the rapper and stuff. So and then, and then after that, you saw other bands started copycat and started doing that. Like, oh man, we need a rapper. we need a rapper.
So, I think you created musical history right there. So when did you really embrace hip hop, and when did you start working with Gangstar?
Well, the crazy part about that is like being that DJ Premier attended Prairie View at the same time as well. That performance, what caught his eye. You know what I mean? So he was like, the Premier was the dude on the campus when it comes to DJing. Every frat party, all the big parties, they all wanted Premier to DJ for them. So I used to go to the parties as a freshman, the first couple of parties, and and this is right as school was kicking off, and I saw like, damn, that DJ is nice, you know. And Premier had just a crazy uniqueness about it, and with it, and the way he spins his records and the way he blends them in was incredible. So right there, you can tell he had a unique, you know, DJing style, and so basically one day, I mean, after that performance, he saw me, and then another friend of ours introduced us and was like, "Yo, this is my friend." At that time, he was going by Cut Master C, you know.
Okay.
I mean Wax Master C. So friend introduced him, was like, "Yo, Wax Master C, you know, this is my man." And then after that show, everybody started calling me LL Wendell. You know what I mean? Because Wendell is my first name. So they introduced us, and he was like, "Yo, man, that was dope. You know what you did about." And after that, man, we became the best of friends, and we had our own clique. You know what I mean? Wherever Premier would DJ, you know, because he DJ'd at a lot of other colleges as well, the U of H, you know, even Texas Southern, Texas A&M, whatever, because all the fraternities from all over wanted him to DJ. So we became the best friends, man. We wherever Premier was spinning, I was right there, you know, keeping the party hype, whether it's dancing, whether, you know, shouting out, whatever the case may be. And then back then, you know, afterwards, we have to load up them records and put them on that truck and drive back to the campus and be ready for class the next morning, or if it was a weekend, you know, just chilling. But yeah, that's how I met Premier, man. That's how I met Premier.
You finished Prairie View University. You got your degree.
Actually, that's the unfortunate part, because we was there, and it was our third year. Because the thing about it, we was in the summer we would leave college, go to New York with our demo tapes and shopping demos, you know, and we would stay in New York for the whole summer. And so we had another group called Inner Circle Posse, and it was made up of, you know, a our crew from Prairie View. So that's what we was doing, shopping demos in New York to record labels, like literally going to the labels, finding out where the offices are, going up in there and dropping off demo tapes and whatnot. So it was just crazy about it that Guru already had Gangstar, and he had another MC with him, and he had another DJ. But Guru was written from Boston, you know. So they moved from Boston to pursue their rap career down to New York. But the other two members, they wasn't feeling New York, so and they left Guru and just went back to Boston. And they was like, get it. So now he was looking for a new DJ, you know. So he just so happened to come across the demo tape that we had sent there, and he heard the music, and he heard the scratching and everything on it, and that's what intrigued him. He was like, "Yo, who is these guys?" And then he eventually's like, "Who is that? Who produced this?" And then the owner of the label was like, he looked at it, he was like, "Oh, it was produced by the DJ." And he was like, "Oh man, that DJ is dope." And then he was basically like telling the owner, "I need him to join my group, join Gangstar." So
Okay.
yeah, so they reached out to Premier and asked them, you know, for a meeting. And he was thinking that it was for, you know, our original crew from Prairie View, you know, thinking we about to get on. So after that meeting, you know, that's when they told him, like, "No, we just really want you. We want to join you with Guru and form the group Gangstar." And so Premier was a little torn about that, because he was Premier's a loyal dude. I mean, I've never met someone so loyal as DJ Premier. That dude, like, would give you the shirt off his back. He would go, you know, if he say if we down, you know, and not talking. I seen him turn down like lucrative opportunities to make a lot of money, but simply because he was more loyal to the person that he was working with. You know what I mean? So that's the type of individual he was. So he wasn't gonna after talking with us, he wasn't gonna leave and go join Guru. He was gonna stick with the group, and until we made it. But what happened, the situation is our lead MC, unbeknown to us, decided to join the Navy. And by him joining the Navy, we had no idea. We just sitting in that basement apartment in Brooklyn one day, and this dude show up asking for, Theodore Campbell, which is the MC's, our lead MC. And we like, what you looking for him for? And then he was like, oh, he just enlisted into the Navy. We were looking around like, what? And then that's how it all set it off. And then I just looked at Premier. I was like, yo, you got to go for what you know. And so he contacted Guru and say, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that offer. I'm going to join Gangstar. You know what I mean? But
did they bring you on to once he hooked up with Guru and officially became Gangstar? When they album, did they bring you on to the group?
Yeah. See, that was part of the thing. He told him, he told Guru, hey, I'll join Gangstar, no problem. But I want to bring HL on because, that's how loyal he is. And then Guru's like, well, what is he gonna do? I'm the MC. I'm the only MC. He's like, yo, don't worry about it. HL is talented. He can dance. You know what I mean? He used to light up the campus, back at Prairie View. So he can be our dancer. You know what I mean? But I got to roll with him. So Guru was like, all right, cool. He's our dancer. So he's part of Gangstar now. So so after that was settled, we went back to college and went back to school. And so the paperwork and all that had to get worked out, the legal part. And so during our Christmas break, you have 2 weeks off and whatnot. So we flew back to New York on Christmas break and recorded that first album in that 2 week span. I mean, yeah, it's like it was
Manifest and Positivity.
Yeah. All that whole No More Mr. Nice Guy album was done in like 2 weeks on a Christmas holiday. You know what I mean? Premier went in and did his thing. That's like him and Guru, their collaboration, and it was like we would wake up. We would go to the studio in the afternoon, and every night we come out of the studio, it would be like the daylight would be breaking out. You know what I mean? And we would just go back. Guru had an apartment up in the Bronx, so we would go back to the apartment and just crash out, and then wake up, and then it'd be the same thing every day for that whole time. Me and Premier was there, and then we got it all done, and then it was like, all right, as soon as we got it done, it was like, okay, Guru, yo, make sure that the album get mastered right, blah blah blah. Yo, I love you, but me and H got to go back to school. So we hopped on the plane, went back to school, went back to college, and then after they mastered the album, and Guru was like, yo, I'm loving it, blah blah blah, man, it's gonna be great. And then he was like, yo, they figured out him and Premier figured out that they wanted Manifest to be the first single. So they was like, you know, the label was like, yo, we have to shoot a video to it. We have to shoot a video. So Premier was like, yo, wait until we go on spring break, which is in March. So when we get on spring break, we'll come back, we'll shoot the video, and then, you know, cool. So that's what we did. We came back on spring break, came back to New York, shot the Manifest video, watched it get edited and all of that, and then loved it, you know, and then we went back to school, and next thing you know, by the time that single dropped and that video dropped, things went crazy. It was like there was like everybody was calling Guru like, oh, this is amazing. I love that song. I love this video, that whole Malcolm X look and this and that. So Guru was getting enormous calls to do live shows everywhere. And so he was end up doing the shows without me and Premier because we're back in college. So he's using like one of our homeboys to DJ and another one of our homeboys to dance and stuff in my place. But he was calling me and Premier every day. Like Guru was calling us every day at school. Like, yo, I need my DJ. I need my dancer. Y'all need to leave school now. He was like, yo, this music is yo, the video is taking off. Ralph McDaniel was playing it every day, and this and that, and blah blah blah. So he was like, yo, I need y'all. I'm doing shows every weekend and do that. So he was like, yo, all right, Guru, we're gonna come. You just gotta wait and let us finish this semester. He's like, no, stop now. Come. So you know, so I was like, yo, Primo, this dude is not gonna stop. So Premier finally told me, said, look, Guru, let me finish out this semester. All right, it's only another couple of months. You know, it's only like a month because we got out in May. So he was like, yo, it's only like a month. Just relax. We'll be there. So after that, you know, May came and that semester was over. Me and looked at each other and we got to go back to New York. But I said, what do you think? He said, I don't think we're coming back. And I was like, really? He's like, nah, I don't think we're coming back. He said, I don't have no intentions on coming back. I planned on making it. So I said, okay, I guess we packing up to leave. So we packed up everything we had and put it on the back of his truck, and we drove back to New York, and the rest was history, you know. The rest was history.
How long did you work with Gang? How long were you with Gangstar? The entire career before. Rest in peace to Guru. Yeah. How long were you with Gangstar?
Well, the first couple of albums, you know, that's when I was dancing, and then after that, you know, I mean, even when, you know, as a dancer, I was still like, it wasn't just about dancing because we all had a connection. We all had a vibe. So it was more so we all would go in our studio and we would all be in a creative mindset and just ideas flowing, you know, and plus I was like a student, like sitting there absorbing all the knowledge from Premier and Guru, because both of them brothers, a lot of people don't know, man, Guru's super creative, man. You know, a lot, you know, we all know Premier is just a legend when it comes to production and whatnot. But Guru in his own sense was such a creative dude himself, man, and very, you know, smart, very intelligent. You know, a lot of people don't know he graduated from an HBC. He graduated from Morehouse. You know what I mean? So that's why him and Spike Lee had that connection too. And later on, that's why after Spike Lee saw Manifest, that's why he enlisted Gangstar to do a jazz thing for the Mo Better Blues soundtrack.
And let me ask you a question. Being that you were a self-trained musician and being that Gangstar was on the jazz tip with hip hop, did you ever do any tracks with Gangstar? Being that you were a jazz, jazz, influence. You were so influenced by jazz. Did you do any jazz tracks on any of
The
the albums?
crazy part about it is we talked about it, but it never happened. And but the crazy part about it is that's what I'm saying. Sitting in those sessions, we would, just the ideas and and just the ear training, you would hear things and be like, that sound right there is amazing. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, like to not be a trained musician, Amir had an ear, he has an ear that's incredible as well. So that's why we would sit there and can hear things and be on the same, like, on same connection. Like, oh, that was dope. You know what I mean? Did you hear that? Like, yeah, that horn, right? Yeah, or that little riff from that guitar, right? Or this and that. So it was thing, and then, but just through our late night conversations, me and Guru, because that's the thing. Through that first album and whatnot, in the first part of the Gangstar, we all used to live together, in a tiny apartment in the Bronx, me, Guru, and Premier. When we left Prairie View, we came and stayed all together in that apartment that Guru had up in the Bronx. So being that we was just there, it was like a brotherhood, and there would be a lot of late night sessions of us just sitting there, just from a creative standpoint, just throwing ideas at each other and talking and whatnot. Like for instance, I used to go by the name of HL Rock. HL is just short for HL Rock. And I remember one night, Guru was asking me like, "Yo, what does HL Rock stand for?" And then I told him, I was like, HL Rock stands for Higher Level Rapper of Common Knowledge. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Oh, damn." He's like, "I ain't." And then next thing you know, and the next day he came and he hit me. He was like, "Guru," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Nah, Guru," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, Gifted Unlimited Rhymes Universal." I was like, so these are like things that we used to throw off of each other all the time. We just build, manifested, and just talk, and that kind of, I think the music side of us, our conversation and about my music background and just talking about that creative side and talking about my love for jazz. And then next thing you know, he's like, yo, he ended up doing the Jazz Mataz albums and stuff because he was like, yeah, I always was into jazz. I love jazz. And he was like, damn, man, I can't believe you play the sax and whatnot and this and that. And we was just talking about jazz musicians. And then, off of that jazz thing, a song that Spike had him do for
Right.
video, as you see, for Mo Better Blues, it was just, like I said, it was just that bond, that connection that we had, all three of us, through our love for music. And when it comes to Premier, man, Premier is like a walking encyclopedia of music. You know what I mean? That dude can tell you about bands, songs from all over, because another one, his parents introduced him to music at a young age. So with him learning so much about music and records and having records and listening to them and learning the bands and this and that, I think that influenced him a lot in his production. Once he started, learning, how to produce, he was so, gifted at knowing a lot about musicians and music. It just helped.
After your stint with Gangstar, you're exploring different of black music. What made you decide to learn about black music culture outside of the United States, and particularly in Brazil? Talk about that transition that took you from America to Brazil.
Okay. So with just the love of music and the love of black music, coming up, listening to the blues, and then R&B, soul, and or black music. Think about it; it has a vibe, a specific vibe to it. It has a connection to it, and the connection is to the rhythm and the beat. Just like the drums of Africa. Now, on my first visit to South America and to Brazil, um, I, I didn't know that the culture of black music was so deep there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't know a lot about Brazil, but once I got there and I see how deep the roots of culture is with music, and the only thing I knew about going to Brazil when it came to music wise was like I knew about samba music and I knew about bossa nova. You know what I mean? That's like the traditional sounds of Brazil that you know about historically.
Okay.
But once you
What year was that when you first went to Brazil? What year was that?
that was late 2003, 2004. That
Okay.
was my first visit, and like I say, once I got there and I experienced the culture, because the culture is
Mm.
so deep, and also I started seeing a lot of people that look just like us. Um, I was astounded. I was like, wow, this is more than I expected. This is more than I anticipated. Just about you hear so much about the country and the beautiful beaches and the beautiful women, but it's way much more to that. It's like shortchanging your plate of food. You know what I mean? You just put some peas and rice, but you missing. When it comes to the black culture, you missing all the meats and or the big main course of the meal, because that's what it really is. So, and music is a part of that. And
Right.
once I got there and I learned about, the culture, and I got more infused inside the culture of Brazil, that's when I understand that, like, wow, there's a deep African rooted culture here that I never knew about. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then it's a lot of traditional African um, uh, uh, um, ceremonies that still go on there in Brazil. And a lot of it comes out of all the black communities, black and brown communities, which are the majority of the underserved communities there. So being that in Brazil, the culture is so thick, it's so pure, and when I say it's pure, because it comes from the heart, and the rhythms and the beats and the and the love of the passion for the music and the dance. It just all correlates back to our African roots, which correlates back to what we've done. So some of the music, the jazz music that they emulate and create, because you have a lot of jazz musicians there in Brazil, and they like are so talented. You know what I mean? And the same thing when it comes to the bands and whatnot, and are very talented when it comes to instrumental pieces and whatnot. They are super gifted. So once I got there, and I'm so entrenched in all of this culture, man, I'm like, this is amazing. So it brought the music side of out of me, that passion that I love and have for music and culture. So I was like, yo, I want to be a part of this, man. And I want other, and then that's what made me say, I want other people, our people to come and witness this, come be a part of this. So that was, after so many years of just learning the culture and seeing the culture and feeling the vibes and understanding the vibes, then that's what got me thinking about, what, I need to build something out here, in the form of a festival or an event where I can introduce this culture and our culture and bring these black cultures together, and let's showcase it, together, and bring a joint like togetherness, that should be, because no matter where we're from, when it comes to black people, we all connected, through Africa, no matter how centralized you are here or there or whatever, we all have that roots back from, and it shows in the music, it shows in the dance, it shows, because you can see certain things that go like dancing or music or whatever, and you be like, damn, that's kind of like what we do back in the States.
Tell everyone the name of the festival and what year did you have your first festival?
Oh, okay. The name of my festival is called Sly Fox Fest, and the theme of it is called A Vibe. And the reason I call it a vibe, because when all of us get together, and I'm speaking of black people, when we get together, that's what it is. It's a vibe. So that's what Sly Fox Fest is about: bringing the culture of black music and arts, creative arts, dance, just a vibe of connecting and building and trying to join us all together to enrich this culture even more so by being together, because as we join together, we become more powerful, and we learn more about this history of this culture, and you learn about and Brazilians get to learn about more so about our culture. So that's what Sly Fox Fest is about. It's an annual event that goes on the last week of December, runs into New Year's Eve, and I first started it in 2019, and then that was when I created the first event, which just was a New Year's Eve event, and then I just saw how beautiful the response was, and then I've been gradually growing it ever since. And
What's been the reception of the people at the Sly Festival, for when it comes to black music culture, how they embrace the culture of black music in Brazil? What's been the response?
oh man, it's a great response, because the thing about it is, Brazilians, especially the black Brazilians, they love they love their ethnicity. They love being black, and they are proud of that. Throughout, they still go through a lot. The sad part about it is they still go through a lot of racism, just like us here in the States, and so, but I contributed through even systematic racism as well. That's even more heavy so than in the States, and it's still a lot of oppression. But at the same time, the Sly Fox Fest, being that it's black owned, black operated, and I'm a black man, coming from America to show love in Brazil, they embrace it so deeply, and passionately, because and now I'm still developing it in Rio, but I get constant messages all the time asking, bring it to this part of Brazil, bring it to this part of Brazil. And I have to tell them all the time, let me continuously build it up here. And then, as I get it to a certain established point, then I can start expanding.
Who are some of the artists, who are some of the Brazilian artists you've worked with?
Oh, man. Some of the Brazilian artists, I work with a lot of, up and coming artists, that are there, that are just trying. Because, see, one thing about the Sly Fox Fest, it's about giving people a platform, to try to, build, they might not be known artists, but, here's, I'm giving you a platform to showcase your talent. And the same thing at my fashion show. It's like, take a lot of unknown models and unknown designers, black designers, Here's your platform to showcase your talent. Same thing, you know, with the graffiti and art gallery showcase, talent showcase it. You know what I mean? Music. So there's a lot of unknown talent, but then I have my connections with a lot of known talent. Like this one artist that I love, his name is Bika. You know, and it's B, how we pronounce it is like BK, like Brooklyn, but there it's called Bika in Brazil, and I think Bika is dope. Is also his producer, who's an MC too, by the name of JX. You know, my man Jonas. A shout out to him too. These are all cats, and then this is one cat that I love too, Jonga. He's another one, you know, and he's and these cats are very, these dudes are very like culture enriched, and their songs are a lot about, you know, black, you know, the black culture, the black people, and uplifting black people and fighting racism and this and that.
How many people total attend your festival?
I'll say about 3,500. You know, nah,
Yeah.
not bad, man, not bad at all. Especially, you know, that this festival is funded by myself. You know, and never had a sponsor, and I started it straight out of my own savings, my own pockets, and for the love of the culture and for the love of black people.
Well, you know, this is a great thing that I'm letting people know that Brother HL wants the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society to be part of the next festival in Brazil, and which is a great thing because we're all about preserving black music culture, whether it's here in America or around the world. So we definitely going to be a part of this festival on the educational aspect when it comes to the education of black music culture in Brazil. So we're looking forward to that. I think what you're doing is very, very important, very great because it's expanding the culture of black music around the world. I wanted people to know your platform, what you're doing as far as your Sly Festival, people to come and check you out. You know, other artists from here possibly to perform in Brazil, you know, to get you sponsorship. Like I said, we support what you're doing. Like I said, we love, you know, black music culture in general. So this is a great merge with the Rhythm Blues Preservation Society and the Slide Music Festival. I love what you're doing. Talk about, you know, your, I mean, because you're a musician yourself. So you were telling me that Brazilian black music culture is also influenced here as well. Talk about it in the States.
Yeah, man. Because Perry, the thing about it is, and I just like to say thank you guys for this platform to talk about Sly Fox Fest and what I'm doing in Brazil, and at the same time, I just love the fact of what you guys doing and preserving, you know, and preserving, educating, you know, black about black music, man, because you know it's part of our history. You
Yes.
know, it's part of our history, and it's part of what makes the makeup of who we are. Because you know, we're built on rhythm and blues in the sense of whatever we do, it's rhythmatic, you know, and from our walk to our talk, you know what I mean, to the way we dress, to the way we you know think, and the way we, you know, do a lot of things in life is built on that. So the influences that we have that influence Brazil, but at the same time, a lot of the things that Brazil do influence America in a certain way because, you know, they have a certain distinctive pattern in the way that they create their music, and it's drum and is drum and rhythm and bass, and whatnot, and they have a certain music called Valley Funk, and Valley Funk is sounds. I like to call it sounds of the ghetto. You know what I mean? But it's like the music is like sounds of the ghetto, and it's super dope, and it's about rhythm, and what's so cool about it? It reminds you of the Caribbeans, because up in the ghettos where you know the black people live, they have these parties called Valley Funk parties, and Valley Funk is this music where it's about nothing but rhythm, bass, and dancing, and so they have these Valley Funk parties where they have like the soundboard, where all the speakers are just loaded up on top of each other. You know, maybe stacked 10 speaker high and maybe 10 speaker wide, and
Right.
and they
This is
party.
yeah, this is heavy. I mean, this is a great. As I said, this is a great thing with the merging of black music culture here and in Brazil. I want everyone to support this man, support his Slide Funk Music Fest. Let everyone know where they can reach you at, so they can, get in touch with you about your upcoming festival.
Okay, I have if you want to learn more about the festival, you can go on my website. It's slyfoxfest.com. That's SLYFOXFEST.com. And or you can shoot me a DM at slyfoxnyc, on Instagram. And
All right.
and plus, if you want to, on the website, like I say, you can go in there, and it has a place where you can send me a email if you prefer that way, or hit me up on Slyfox NYC on Instagram. Hit me up in the DM. I answer all. I answer all.
All right. This is great, but Brother HL, I'm so honored that you be on our platform to learn about Black music culture in other parts of the world with your Slide Music Fest. We're going to be a part of it. We appreciate that. We definitely are honored to be a part of your Music Fest. I want to thank you for being our guest on Money Music Spotlight. It's been a great, great interview, a learning interview as well, to learn about Black culture in other parts of the world. We appreciate what you're doing. Continue what you're doing. We're gonna keep in touch to make we're gonna keep in touch. Because I love Black music culture in Brazil. We're gonna keep in touch, brother. I want everyone to know that the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society is a nonprofit organization. If you'd like to make a donation, our Cash App is $RBPSOC18, PayPal.me/RBPS18, Vimeo RBPSOC. All donations are tax deductible and appreciated. Again, Brother H.L. Thompson, I want to thank you again for telling us your story and how you are contributing to Black music culture with your music festival. We want this year to be bigger than the other ones. We want to make it bigger than the rest of them. You know what I mean? So everyone will know about your festival. We're gonna be a part of it. We're gonna promote it. I'm gonna be doing more about exposing the history of Black music culture in Brazil on our social media as the months go on. You know what I mean? So I want to thank you again, Brother HL, for being a part of our music spotlight on Mondays. Thank you, sir. Continued blessings to you as well. Appreciate you, brother.
Perry, man, I just like to thank you and Queen, man. You guys have been amazing. My sister Queen, Prairie View Anna, stand up. You know what I mean? That's my a frat and sorority sister as well. But at the same time, I love what you guys are doing, man. It's amazing. I look forward to having both of you down in Brazil at the end of the year at the festival, so where we can continue our collaboration for years to come and continue building. And then I'm flying out on Thursday night, headed back to Brazil, and
Have a safe flight. You know what I mean? And, you know, I know you handle your business down there. Have a safe flight to Brazil, brother. You know, we'll keep in touch, brother, at months go on, as it gets closer to the festival. Continue what you're doing, brother. You know, we appreciate what you're doing. And I want to let the people know what you're doing, Black Music Culture, support this man and his movement, just as support what we're doing as well. And I thank you, brother, again. You know, I'm excited to. I'm excited of what we're gonna be doing.
Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be amazing, man. Like I said, we, you know, together, I think this is going to be a great collaboration because, you know, we both love music. We both are enthusiasts about music, you know, and you guys are like, you know, historians in the sense of education when it comes to Black music. So what better way is to join forces and let's go over there and join our brothers and sisters over in Brazil and have a wonderful, you know, wonderful festival, you know. So Sly Fox Festival, if you don't know about it, you better know about it because each year and every year is going to grow bigger and better. And I'm going to make it a destination travel for a lot of Black people here in America to come on over and enjoy this together.
You heard it from the man himself. This has been another Spotlight. I'm CEO, founder Perry Thompson. I want to thank my guest, Brother H.L. Thompson, for being our guest on here and speaking his truth, you know, speaking his truth about his life and his career and his festival. I want to thank everyone for joining us on our Money Music Spotlight. Continue blessings to everybody. You know, I'm looking forward to 2024 December. Brother, again, thank you. You have a good night, my brother. Peace and love to you as always, my brother.
Peace and blessings. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Until next time.
All right. One love.
All right.